What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here. Today to talk a little bit about taking the extra step when you're bidding on eBay. You should really always do this. I'm bad about it unless it's something that's a little bit more expensive, like over 500 bucks. If it's just like $100 or whatever, 200 bucks, I usually don't pay attention. But I had to back out of a card last night. It was a card that I really wanted. And by last night, I'm talking about Sunday night. This Evan Mobley Luka dual auto popped up on eBay. I honestly had no idea that this card even existed. Saw it midweek last week, I think. I don't remember. Threw it on the watch list and kept an eye on it. Sunday rolled around. It was still sitting at like 800 bucks. There was only like one real comp on like a raw or a PSA 10 version, I think, that sold for some astronomical sum of money like a while ago. But these must be pretty rare because I think Hoops has been out for a while and there's little to no sales of this thing on eBay. And obviously anyone that watches the channel knows I love Evan Mobley and I am a big fan of Luka. So the fact that both these guys were on the same card, really appealing to me. It's also a Mobley rookie auto with the Luka auto on there. So I threw in a bid at we'll pull up the bid history here in a minute. I tossed in a bid at like 850, I think it was. Just to kind of like feel it out. I think the winning bid was at like 817, 820, whatever. And also to give myself like the 9-minute warning reminder when it gets down to the end. I don't use any eBay snipe software or any of that, shenanigans or nonsense. So it got down about a half an hour left or so. I'm looking at it. In the back of my mind, I'm trying to figure out how high I want to go. Because there's really no, like I said, there's no real good comps on this card. So it was just kind of a matter of what I felt comfortable with. And I was willing to go to like 1,400-ish on it. And part of the reason behind that, kind of a random number, eBay has the whole, you could sell and then leave your money in the eBay account. You don't have to immediately transfer it out now. And I switched to that method a while ago. Part of the reason why is I just kind of wanted to move stuff on eBay and kind of like build up a fun money pile on eBay of like money that I just kind of forgot about. I kind of like doing that. It's just like a weird mental thing. Like if that money sits on eBay and it never gets transferred into a checking account or a savings account, it's almost like it doesn't exist to me. And I am way more willing to play a little fast and loose with it. So that fake money pile is $1,400 right now ish, give or take. And that's just all random stuff I've been selling on eBay for probably over the last 3 months or so. So that's what was in that pile. And I said, okay, I'll use all this on this, maybe even go a little bit over. I kind of really want the card. And you know how it is. Once you start thinking about the card, the more you want it, the more you're like, no, I got to win this thing. I'm going for it or whatever. So I take a peek and let's flip over to the bid history here really quickly. And I don't think this is anything, on the seller of this card or anything like that. So here's my initial bid at 850. And it immediately got jumped. That I was never in the lead with the 850. It immediately got outbid by someone's auto bid. Bid history looks pretty solid. And it gets to where there's about 3 minutes left. There's just a couple minutes left in this thing. And I check the bid history and I see this. The two feedback enters the fray. They really hadn't been in there up until really effectively until the last 15 minutes or so of this auction. So now I'm like, a red flag is going up in my mind. Why is a two feedback bidder kind of jumping this thing? It was sitting at around 900 and then it popped up to 981. And a lot of this is auto bid stuff because it's within seconds of each other. Got up to 1100. Then I bid with a couple minutes. I think there was like a minute or actually there was like 50 seconds to go. I think it ended at like 8:30 or something like that with 30 seconds on the hour. I went to 1351 and I said, okay, that's where I'm going to sit here for a minute, literally a minute, and kind of see what happens. And I placed that bid and it wasn't an auto bid because I was actually winning the auction for like a second. Immediately got outbid. And I had about 25 seconds left and went and looked at the bid history and saw I got outbid by the 2 feedback person. And I was like, you know what? I'm out. I want the card, but I don't like the vibes of what's going on with this auction. I'm walking away from it. And like I said, I don't know that this was the seller doing anything. I don't think that it was. So I have no idea, no way to prove it, no way to not prove it, whatever. That's not where I'm going with this. So no shade on the seller for this item. You have no idea who is potentially, you know, doing some shenanigans or nonsense with this stuff. So once I saw that 2 feedback bidder trump me that had also been kind of like pushing it up, I had to put the phone down and walk away. There's only like 10 seconds left. I had to make a split-second call. And I said, and I was like, do I want to go to 15? I was going to go a little over 1,500, 1,550, some weird number over 1,500. And I said, no, I'm not doing it. This doesn't feel correct. So I just put the phone down and I lost out on the card. Now, someone else, this 23 feedback winner, ended up coming in over the top at 1525 to air quotes win it. Now, we'll see if it gets paid. I haven't checked Terapeak. I haven't checked Terapeak yet to see if it actually got paid for. I'll be interested to see if it gets relisted. It's not like there's a ton of these out there. And this card is now on my radar. If anyone knows of anyone that has this card, please let me know. If you ever see one at a show, or just come across one on IG or another selling marketplace, I have safe searches on it for eBay. But if you guys or girls ever run into this Mobley Luka on-card dual auto from Hoops, slide into the old DMs. So it got up to 1525. That's where the winner ended up winning it, but I just couldn't get there. So just like I said, I'm making this video more as a reminder, because I'm bad about this too. I really am. You know, I fire away bids on this stuff without really looking at the bid history, and you got to check the bid history on this stuff. And maybe everything's legit. Maybe that 2 feedback winner, or I'm sorry, bidder, because they didn't win, is 100% a legit buyer, and they just really wanted. They don't buy very often, and they wanted a Mobley Luka card for Christmas. I have no ideas of no way of knowing. But my spidey sense went off, alarm bells went off, and I had to put the phone down and walk away. Now, I did look at the bidder details. I don't know if you guys or girls know this. When you look at a bid history like this, you can actually click on this and look at the bidding details for the individual bidding. On the 2 feedback one, this person does not typically bid on this listing, this seller's items. You can see here only 5%. They've made 54 total bids. Items bid on 51 different items, but only 5% are with this seller. This was the 2 feedback person that I was a little leery of. The winner, which this is actually kind of interesting. I'd be very curious to see if this gets relisted. The winner, the 23 feedback winner, has bid on 11 items, but 56% of them are from the same seller, which was the seller of this dual auto. So 56% of his bid or her bids, his or her bids, were with this seller. That's a little bit of a red flag as well, in my mind. Could be nothing. Maybe they just really like buying from the seller. That could 100% be the case. In the current market that we're in, I am going to lean on the side of caution, and if something doesn't feel right, walk away from it. So be careful out there, boys and girls, if you're bidding on stuff, whatever price points it is that you feel comfortable with, or maybe you're going a little bit out of your range of comfort for something. Maybe just take the extra step when there's like a minute left in the auction and just take a peek at that bid history. Like I said, I'm bad about doing it on lower end stuff. If I'm bidding on a $100 card, I rarely pay attention to it, probably to my detriment. But something like this, where it gets over 500, 600, over $1,000, you're damn sure I'm going to look at the bid history on it. And I'm glad that I did on this one. I probably could have won the card if I really wanted it, but I may have been pushed to a much higher number than I needed to get to. Maybe that's the legit number. Like I said, it could be. I don't know. I guess I'll have an idea if it gets reposted, but that's all I have for you guys and girls on this one. Be careful out there in the auction world. Take a couple extra steps to potentially protect yourself. And if it doesn't feel right, whether it's at a show or on an auction, whether it's whatever platform you're on, if something just feels a little bit off about it, trust your gut, put the phone down, walk away from the table, whatever it is. Everybody have a nice Thanksgiving. Another video tomorrow. Catch you guys and girls on the next one. Peace.